Hi, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and I saw that there was this interesting controversies back and forth between Rihanna and TLC. Normally, I don't have jack to say about Rihanna. I don't care much about Rihanna, to be honest with you, but I do have a respect for the elders, if you want to call them that. And I was a little bit concerned when Rihanna was so disrespectful toward TLC after TLC, I think, legitimately critiqued her Rihanna's role as a role model for young girls, and whether or not she needs to be out here getting half naked all the time and twerking and all these other things. Not even half naked, damn near fully naked. I think her last the dress that she wore when she received this fashion award was actually a see-through dress, and you can see kind of, I guess Rihanna's having fun and doing her thing, but at the same time, it's just kind of like. Uh, this kind of over the top sort of look at me, almost desperate seek for attention. And and if you compare Rihanna versus TLC, you can look at TLC and you can kind of see that TLC was also sexy. They also talked about sex. They talked about making love and all these other things, but they were not what I think with Rihanna, basically glorified strippers. I mean, Rihanna, for the most part, I mean, if you look at the imagery in some of her videos, you compare and contrast TLC. This is when they were receiving their Grammy Award in 1996, and they had just become the highest-selling female group of all time. And what was so impressive was they spoke at length about the importance of being role models. I think t-boz, who actually happens to be my cousin, but I don't talk to her, I don't know her like that, but our grandfathers are brothers. T-Boz says, that they did a survey with little sixth grade girls, and sixth grade girls said that we're their greatest influence. And she said, I take that role seriously. I know I have an influence on the next generation, and I want to influence them in a positive way. So now you have a lot of young women who, I guess at that time, that was 18 years ago, who were 11. Now those young women are 30, and they're better women because they took their responsibility seriously than they would have been otherwise. Now, if you go and you flop over, now you look at Rihanna, look at the imagery on her video. This is from Pour It Up. And the lyrics of the song are just, dollar bills in the club, popping bottles, everybody twerking, all this other stuff. And you can just kind of see that it's sort of like, again, going back to that glorified stripper thing. I think that Rihanna is is a different kind of artist, and to some extent, I couldn't help but to be somewhat offended by Rihanna's reaction to TLC. Basically, if you see on Rihanna's Twitter page, she says something like "fuck what an old thought gotta say," and that basic thought, in case you don't know, thought means that hoe over there. And so basically, you're taking the women who paved the way for you, the ones who made it possible for you to do what you do and to be who you are, and you're calling them old hoes. I don't think that's going to fly with a lot of people. I don't think it will fly with decent people. In fact, it rubs me the wrong way, the same as Jay-Z and Harry Belafonte's beef when Jay-Z pretty much disrespected Harry. And it's funny that Jay-Z and Rihanna kind of come from the same clique. In fact, I think Jay-Z is the one that discovered her and brought her to the scene. Now, here's the part where Rihanna made herself look real stupid. She took this image here of TLC from back in the day when they were topless, and basically she, kind of, I guess insinuated that they were being hypocritical. That, oh well, you look at what you guys did back in the day, and now you're criticizing me. And I think that's wrong on two fronts. Number one, just because an elder or an older person that gives you advice, just because they made the same mistake as you, that doesn't mean that their advice is invalid. A lot of the best advice I've received through my life was from people who made the wrong decisions and were warning me not to repeat their mistakes. That's what intergenerational progress is supposed to be all about. But here's the other stupid thing. This was actually for breast cancer awareness. That's why they did this. So they took their clothes off for a cause, whereas Rihanna will get naked for nothing. She'll get naked for dollar bills, as she says in her song "Pour It Up." And now here's the other interesting thing about Rihanna. To be honest with you, when I hear her talking about drug use and just kind of doing what she wants to do, living how she wants to live, I really think about another famous celebrity who was saying the same kind of thing. back in her day, back when she was young. I guess Rihanna might call her an old thought also. I don't know, or maybe a dead thought. I guess that's what she would probably call Whitney Houston, because Rihanna just has no respect for anything or anyone, it appears. And Whitney Houston back in her day, she started off kind of with the cookie cutter image, and then she bust out of that and she started dating another guy with the last name Brown, Bobby Brown. Rihanna was dating Chris Brown, and they were also having this tumultuous relationship with drug use and abuse and arrests and all these crazy things, similar to what Rihanna and Chris had back in the day when they were kicking it together. And they too were very defiant in terms of saying, F the world, we're going to live our life. We're going to do what we want to do. And 20 years later, you see that Whitney's dead from drug use, and Bobby Brown is kind of among the walking dead. His career, his everything he brings to the world is kind of gone. Everything he could have brought to the world is gone because he didn't take good advice. He wanted to live his way. He wanted to do his thing, and you saw where that kind of got him to. So what I'm really just going to say is that Rihanna, I think, needs to understand that that you have to show respect to the people who paved the way for you to get here. You have to understand that whether you want to be a role model or not, you are a role model. From what I understand, in fact, Rihanna's doing a voiceover in an animated film. So you're doing voiceovers in cartoons, basically, and you somehow think that you're not a role model being emulated by millions of little girls out here. Screw you. I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And the fact is that, and this is what TLC actually brought up during their interview after they'd just been named the highest selling female group of all time. They brought up the specific point that they are role models whether they want to be or not. And so if you want to know the difference between TLC and Rihanna, I think that really sums it up. They all sell records, but TLC was able to sell records in a way that benefited people more than just themselves and their own bank account. And also, they knew the difference between being classy versus, for lack of a better phrase, unclassy, which is this tacky, pour it up. I want to be a stripper. Look at me, dollar bills. I'm twerking. And hopefully that's going to stop working eventually, because I really think that overall, you might get that attention initially from twerking and throwing dollar bills and imitating the strippers at the club, but eventually when people start to peer into your soul, they're going to see that it's empty, because all you have is your ass and your titties, and that's all that you have to offer the world. And I think that Rihanna, to some extent, really, if you really look at the core of who she is, Rihanna is kind of just a slightly more talented version of Kim Kardashian, and that's part of why I don't understand her relevance necessarily. But then also, I think that when it comes to her disrespecting TLC, I think people should probably say something about that. At least I am, and that's my effort here. So I don't really care what people have to say about it. And even if whether you agree or not, I just want people to come to their own conclusion. But if you really look at this at the core, I don't know how you can argue in a million years that it's not better to have artists who do understand their social responsibility and do understand that there's a community that has supported them and built them. There's a community that they influence. And so when you look at this video right here, the question is this the predominant influence that you want on a 9, 10-year-old girl? Is this what you want young boys thinking that this is what life is all about? That I'm supposed to be at the club looking for the strippers, throwing dollar bills on them, making it rain? That's my life. Well, the fact is, no. Maybe a better life is to spend your time in the lab coming up with a cure for cancer, or learning how to become an astrophysicist, or working hard to become a multimillionaire as an entrepreneur, or get digging deep into literature and becoming a writer. I mean, those are productive uses of your life. But unfortunately, the worst of hip hop culture, the worst of commercialized hip hop culture, has really sort of implanted this idea that any adult person, especially a person of color, is supposed to spend their life engaged in a bunch of meaningless, worthless, shiftless activities that ultimately drain them financially, that lead to the spread of disease, that lead to a lot of unhappiness, that lead to abuses and addictions and things like that. And I just think that we got to deal with that, man, because this stuff is stupid. Well, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. Please take care. God bless and have a wonderful day. I'm gone. Peace.